Ask it anything and you get an answer. Every single time. It never stalls. It never shrugs. It never says it has no idea. That is the part that should bother you. A right answer and a completely invented one arrive in exactly the same tone. A lawyer in New York found out what that costs. He filed a legal brief built on court cases that had never existed. Invented cases with invented quotes and invented reference numbers. A judge fined him and made him write to every real judge named in the fakes. This is called a glitch. It is not one. It falls straight out of the way the thing was built. Start here. There is no looking up step inside it. It does not consult anything. There is no fact for it to fail to find. It was trained to do exactly one thing. Guess which word most plausibly comes next. That is the whole engine. Plausible next word, over and over. But plausible and true are not the same target. Most of the time, those two targets overlap, which is why any of this works. The trouble lives in the sliver where they do not. That gap opens widest on the things it barely saw. A detail it met once in training, or never met at all, and it still produces an answer. Fluent, specific, and wrong. So why doesn't it just say that it doesn't know? In 2025, researchers at OpenAI published an answer, and the answer was not about the model. It was about the exam. Picture a multiple choice test. You have all sat one. Leave a question blank, and you score nothing. Guess, and you might score a point. So everybody guesses. It would be irrational not to. The tests these models are ranked on work exactly the same way. Answering, I don't know, earns nothing at all. A confident wrong answer sometimes earns everything. Nobody taught it to bluff. We built a scoreboard that pays for bluffing. Try this yourself the next time you use one. Ask it something small, obscure, and checkable. Then open a fresh conversation and ask the exact same question. If the two answers disagree, neither of them came from a source. Now for the part that genuinely surprised me. Researchers at Anthropic went looking inside a model's wiring. They found something like a built-in reflex to decline. For most questions, that reflex sits quietly switched on, and one signal switches it off. A signal meaning, I recognize this name. Ask about Michael Jordan, and that signal fires correctly. It genuinely knows the name. The refusal drops. The answer is right. The failure is the name it only half recognizes. The recognition signal trips. The refusal switches off, and now something has to come out. So make something up. That is one study on one model explaining one kind of mistake. Newer models must have solved this by now. Surely, OpenAI's own published testing says otherwise. On one of their internal benchmarks, two newer models did it more often than an older one. Giving it real sources to read does help. A lot. Tools built for exactly that still get it wrong on a real share questions. Even the word for this is disputed. Hallucinating means seeing something that is not there. Nothing in there is seeing anything. It is not lying either. Lying needs a truth you are hiding. It is producing plausible text. Whether that text is true was never what it aimed at. A confident tone is not evidence. Check the ones that matter. There's a whole map of curious questions waiting at hello Curioo.com.